Hello, everybody. This is Khatib, and it is Wednesday, August the 19th. The time is 7:30 p.m. I hope that you all had a wonderful day. Yes, it is Hump Day. It is the middle of the week, Thursday, Friday. Hey, we ready for you. We ready for the weekend, baby. We ready for the week to end so we can relax, get some things done around the house, go out and eat, and go have some fun. Hey, I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend. Okay, so here's today's blog posting, and I'm going to tell you how this all came up. Okay, so I have my moments of thinking, just random thoughts, and so I'm sitting in my office and I'm just contemplating on things that I have been through within the last year or two in my healing stage. And I was thinking about how we as human beings, we use one of the most greatest gifts that we have, which is speaking. The ability to communicate with one another, the ability to communicate with the creator, the ability to communicate with creation in nature. We have a beautiful gift of communication. Unlike any other creature that we knew of. Okay, so there may be other communication from other lives and plant worlds that we're not aware of, but as of what we knew of, our communication is as far as for good. Okay, so I'm sitting, I'm thinking like, wow, man, like words really are powerful. And I'm not trying to get like really religious or have a sermon with this pre-talk before the reflection. And so, as we all know, they say, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was words, language, communication. It's powerful. It's more powerful than what we know. And so, I'm sitting in my office and I'm saying, wow, Kati, the things that we say to one another, it can make you or break you. And I remember my grandmother, Celestine, I miss her much. My grandmother, Celestine, used to tell me, watch what you say. Watch your words. Think before you speak. And who really does that? We're gonna be honest. I know I don't. I do not watch what I say. Especially back then, I said what I said, and that was it. But throughout the last few years, I've noticed how what we say really can affect the person, knowingly or unknowingly. And I notice how sometimes people use a situation that you're going through to belittle you. Yeah, it could be true, it can be true what they're saying about you. It could be true. But the fact that they're using that to make you look little or to make you look incompetent or to destroy your character, that's a great, horrible thing. And as I was thinking about that, I thought about an elder when I was in Roswell, Georgia. An elder told me, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, truth spoken with bad intention is worse than any lie you can tell on somebody. And so I was talking to a colleague about that recently, and my colleague was like, well, lies are bad too. Yeah, lies are bad. We know lies are lies, yes. But when somebody intentionally take a truth about you that's a fault and use it to destroy you for their gain, and to belittle you, that's a horrible thing. And so I thought about that a lot, and I'm like, wow, I'm guilty of that. I've used truth to hurt people or to say things that I shouldn't have said. And I'm publicly asking for apology to anybody who I have hurt or offended, knowingly or unknowingly. Because sometimes we just talk and ramble from the mouth and don't even realize the foolishness that come out of our mouth. So this reflection is about us using our words. Okay, we shouldn't want to hurt nobody with our tongue. Okay, I know we want to, and we live in a society where we speak our mind. We want to say what we want to say. Ain't nobody can tell us nothing. We grown. We keep it 100. But that can really put you in a bad position. It really could. And you might not believe that because you don't give a care. I don't care. We don't care about consequences. We don't believe that we have to be held accountable for the words that we say and the actions that we have done. We don't believe that. And I remember my grandmother used to always tell me too. She'd say, Khatib, she said, the people who believe in the Creator are the ones who really don't believe in the Creator because their actions don't line up with their words and their thinking. And that's a true statement. That's a harsh statement, but it's true. Most of us who believe in equality and justice and forgiveness, being upright, trying to do good deeds, we believe that. We are taught that as children, spiritually, in our religious upbringing and stuff. All of that stuff that we are taught, we don't believe that when we're angry or when we're trying to get something accomplished. Like, that goes on the back burner. Now, I'm not saying we all have to be saints. No, I'm not saying that. No, we make mistakes and we say things off the chain sometimes, or we let our anger be our driver in situations, and we don't think about, hey, one day I have to be held accountable for this. One day you have to stand before the mizans, the scales of life, and then you have to be weighed. And so I'm asking me to be mindful of your words and how you interact with people. I know anger can be a motivating force and it could be a flame. But hey, be that bush that's on fire, but not burning. Don't let the fire consume you. Don't let bad words, take over your conversation. Don't break people's character. Don't throw people in a trash can with your words. Don't slice people up. Don't backbite. Don't slander. You don't gotta do that. Okay? Just be you. Like they say, just be you. Take it on the chin. And smile and keep going. You don't have to match negative energy with negative energy. Because see, when you do that, you have to come from where you are, to come down. You gotta come down to where that energy is, and you have to match it. Let people come up to you on your level of thinking, but don't you go down. And so this reflection is just a reminder to you and I to be mindful of our words, how we deal with people. You don't have to yell, you don't have to scream, you don't have to call people SOBs and MFers, and like you don't have to do all that. That is so immature of us as adults, as human beings, to be so degrading to one another. And once again, this is not a sermon or a speech. I just want us to be on a higher level, and I too have to practice this because I am guilty of some of the stuff that I am telling you on this blog pre-recorded. So I don't want to keep rambling. That was just something that was on my heart, and so I'm going to give to you this little prose that I created, I wrote up, and I hope you enjoy. And for those who follow me on my blog, as a reminder, I do have a Hurricane Katrina article coming out sometime this week, in the Advocate, New Orleans paper. You check that out. Just be searching online for it to come out at NOLA.com. Check out my article coming out in a couple of weeks. And I wish all of you a beautiful Wednesday. And in closing, I'm going to ask that all of you try to support me, support the blog, make a contribution, make a donation. It keeps things rolling. And with that said and done, you have a beautiful weekend. And when the blog get to the end, don't stop. I got a little something extra for you. Peace and blessings.
Truth Ain't Supposed to Bleed. Written by Khatib Shunner. Author's opening words. Before you read another word, I need to clear something up. I am in no way a poet. Nope. I honestly don't claim to be one. And please don't try to hand me that title like it's some kind of trophy. I don't need that light shining on me. I don't need a stage, a spotlight, a beret tilted sideways, or somebody snapping their fingers in a dark coffee shop while I stare painfully into the distance. I'm just writing what's in my heart, my soul, and my mind. That's it. If somebody finds poetry hiding in there, well, that's between them and the words. If I got a nickel for every time somebody told me I was a poet, nah. Matter of fact, make it a dime. Inflation done got disrespectful. If I got a dime for every time I heard, man, you're a poet, I could probably buy enough paint to paint a tapestry of the whole world across the sky. I'd paint oceans across the clouds, mountains beside the moon, memories between the stars, and probably still have enough paint left over to touch up heaven's front porch. But me, I'm a writer, and that's enough for me. A writer who sometimes feels like I've traveled through time, and I've been here before many times, thousands of years it seems. Don't ask me for the paperwork because apparently the universe ain't big on keeping receipts. But something in my spirit remembers. I have stood beneath skies that didn't have names yet. I have listened to winds that carried prayers before somebody decided prayers needed buildings. I have watched civilizations rise inside the imagination and fall beneath the weight of their own pride. I've heard laughter around fires whose ashes became dirt. I've watched lovers promise forever beneath ancient moons, and I've watched forever discover that human beings have a very interesting definition of commitment. I've seen kings become dust. I've seen poor men become legends. I've seen truth whispered in caves, shouted from mountaintops, written on walls, hidden inside songs, carried through generations, and sometimes thrown like stones at the very people it should have helped. Maybe none of that happened to this body. Maybe that's the writer in me wandering beyond the boundaries of clocks. Maybe imagination is its own kind of time machine. Or maybe the soul knows roads the body ain't traveled yet. I don't know. And surprisingly, I'm comfortable not knowing everything. Took me a while to get there, too. I used to think wisdom meant having all the answers. Now I think wisdom sometimes means knowing when to sit down, hush up, and stop acting like you personally helped God organize the universe. Because after traveling all these imaginary centuries, after wandering through all these lives inside my mind, one thing keeps following me. Words. Words survive us. A sword eventually rusts. A fist eventually weakens, and a building eventually falls. But words, Lord have mercy, words know how to travel. A sentence spoken today can move into somebody's spirit and live there rent-free for 40 years. And ain't that something? Won't pay electricity, Won't buy groceries, won't even take the trash out, just sitting there in somebody's memory eating up all the emotional snacks. That's why I wrote this. Not because I'm a poet. We already discussed that. I'm writing because I believe truth carries responsibility. Truth is powerful, but power without compassion can become cruelty. Sometimes we become so determined to prove that we're right that we forget there is a human heart standing on the other side of our correctness. And sometimes the truth ain't the problem. The intention behind it is. There is a difference between giving somebody truth because you want them to grow and giving somebody truth because you know exactly where it will hurt. One is love. The other is a knife wearing a halo. So before you read this, understand that these words aren't asking anybody to lie. They're asking us to remember that honesty doesn't excuse cruelty. You can tell the truth without trying to destroy somebody. You can correct without humiliating. You can disagree without becoming vicious. You can know somebody's weakness without turning it into ammunition. And you can be absolutely, completely, undeniably right and still be wrong in the way you chose to deliver it. So come travel with me for a little while. No luggage required, no passport, no time machine, and thank goodness no baggage fee. Just bring your heart. I'll bring the words. Maybe somewhere between the two, we'll remember something our souls have known for thousands of years. Truth was never supposed to make us less human. Truth cuts deeper than a lie sometimes, especially when cruelty is hiding between the lines. See, a lie might stumble, get caught, and then fall, but truth got receipts when it comes to call. And some folks know that. Oh, they know it well. They'll dress cruelty up like honesty, then swear they only came to help. They'll say, I'm just telling the truth, with a little smirk sitting loose on their face, knowing good and well they didn't bring truth to heal. They brought truth to put somebody in their place. See, truth don't need a disguise. It can stand all by itself beneath heaven's skies. But put truth in the wrong hands. Give it anger, resentment, jealousy too. And something meant to bring light can become a weapon aimed straight at you. Because honesty can bleed. Yes, indeed. It can cut without a knife and still leave somebody wounded for life. Words don't leave bruises that anybody can see. Ain't no black eye for the world to question me. No cast on the heart, no bandage around the soul. But Lord, some words hit places where healing takes its toll. The skin might forget what happened years ago, but the heart got a memory that refuses to let certain things go. Funny thing about words, they don't weigh nothing at all. Yet one sentence can make the strongest person feel small. A tongue ain't got fists. It ain't got hands, can't swing a right hook or throw combinations on command. But let anger climb behind somebody's teeth. Let bitterness decide what their mouth should release. And that little tongue can hit harder than fists ever could in the streets. Now ain't that something? A mouth with no muscles can still knock somebody down, and everybody standing nearby might not even hear a sound, because some people cry inward, some people bleed where eyes can't see, some folks smile right after you hurt them, then go home carrying your words secretly. That's why every truth doesn't have to be thrown like a stone. Just because you know somebody's weakness doesn't mean it belongs in your tone. You can be right and still be wrong in the way that you speak. You can tell the whole truth and still intentionally make somebody feel weak. Because truth without compassion can lose what made it divine. It can become cruelty standing behind an honest line, and don't call it love if humiliation was the plan. Don't say I was only being honest after deliberately breaking another woman or man. Nah, that's not honesty. That's cruelty wearing truth's clothes, spraying on righteousness so nobody smells what bitterness knows. And once those words leave, you can't chase everyone back home. Sorry might catch a few, but some echoes learn how to roam. They'll wander through somebody's thoughts at 2:30 in the morning, repeating what you said without invitation or warning. You'll never be enough, echo. Nobody really wants you, echo. You always mess everything up, echo. And years later, your mouth done forgot the whole conversation. while somebody else is still fighting the sentence you spoke out of frustration. That's why I believe words carry spirit in the air. What leaves your mouth might become something another soul has to bear. So before I speak, I ought to ask myself what I'm trying to grow. Am I planting something beautiful, or throwing salt where nothing can grow? Am I planting a seed or opening a wound? Am I bringing sunlight or dragging somebody beneath a darker moon? Because truth should be a lamp, not a blade against the heart, something that helps us see the road, not something designed to tear us apart. Truth should open windows. Truth should unlock doors. Truth should help somebody understand what they couldn't understand before. And yes, sometimes truth hurts. I ain't saying paint everything pretty or hide what's underneath the dirt. Sometimes love has to say, you're wrong. Sometimes love has to say, this can't continue going on. Sometimes truth has to shake us, wake us, make us look inside. But there's a difference between correction and trying to murder somebody's pride. You don't have to destroy me to tell me where I went astray. You don't have to embarrass me to help me find a better way. You don't have to break my spirit just to prove your point is true. Because if truth only matters when it gives you power over me, then maybe the problem ain't truth. Maybe it's you. A soft heart still breaks even when every word is true. So handle people's tender places like you'd want somebody handling you. Everybody got something they don't put on display, some old scar, some quiet fear, some memory they keep tucked away. And if somebody trusts you enough to show you where they're tender inside, don't save that information for the next argument to weaponize. Don't memorize their wounds so you know where to aim. Don't learn somebody's pain, then use their pain to win some little game. Because winning an argument while losing somebody's trust ain't winning much of nothing. That's just love turning into dust. So choose your tongue with love. Let patience decide your tone. Remember, everybody you encounter is carrying something unknown. Before your words leave, ask your spirit what they intend to do. Will they build somebody up or leave them questioning everything they knew? Will they become a wound or become a seed? Will they feed somebody's fear or give their weary spirit what it needs? I want my truth to be a lamp. I want my words to carry light. I don't need to make somebody bleed just so everybody knows I'm right. Because being right means little if kindness has to die. And sometimes the cruelest sentence spoken can contain not one single lie. So speak truth, speak it strong. Speak it when silence would help something wrong. Speak it when fear tells your courage to hide. Speak it with conviction standing by your side. But speak it with love. Speak it knowing hearts can crack. Speak it knowing once some words leave, you may never get them back. Speak like somebody's spirit might remember your voice when you're gone. Speak like your words might become the melody somebody carries on, because the tongue has no fists, yet it can bruise the soul. And a sentence only takes seconds to speak, while healing can take years to make somebody whole. So if truth is what you carry it gently when you can. You don't have to soften what is real. Just remember you're speaking to a human, not an argument, not an enemy. Not a mistake, but a woman or a man. Let truth be the lamp. Let compassion be the flame. Let love decide how you speak, even when anger knows their name. And before you release those words you can never again retrieve, ask yourself one simple question. Am I speaking so they understand, or am I speaking so they bleed? Author's closing words. Now that we've made it back from our little journey through words, wounds, truth, and time, I want to leave you with something. And no, this ain't the part where I suddenly announce that I've accepted my calling as a poet. Nice try, I'm still a writer. Let the poets keep their title. I'm already busy enough carrying all these centuries around in my head. I've traveled thousands of years in these words. I've sat beside people who existed only for a paragraph and somehow taught me lessons that may last the rest of my life. I've walked backward through memories I never physically lived and forward into tomorrows I'll probably never physically see. That's the strange blessing of being a writer. Time doesn't always behave itself around us Sometimes I can sit in one chair and travel 1,000 years before I stand back up. And after all that traveling, I keep returning to one simple truth. How we make people feel matters. Long after somebody forgets the argument, they may remember how small your words made them feel. Long after they forget exactly what you said, their spirit may remember the temperature of your voice. That's why I don't want my truth carrying poison. I don't want to win a conversation and lose a human being. I don't want somebody lying awake years from now because I needed 5 minutes to prove I was smarter, stronger, tougher, or more correct. That's a terrible exchange rate, and I ain't investing in that. If my words are going to travel beyond me, I want them carrying something worth delivering. A little light, a little compassion, maybe a little laughter, definitely some sarcasm because apparently my spirit came standard with that feature, and nobody gave me the instruction manual for turning it off. But above everything else, I want my words carrying love, not weak love, not pretend love, not the kind of love that smiles while avoiding every difficult conversation. I'm talking about courageous love. Love strong enough to tell the truth without enjoying somebody else's pain. Love mature enough to correct without humiliating. Love wise enough to understand that another person's vulnerability is sacred information, not ammunition for the next disagreement. Because someday, all of us become memories. The voice goes quiet. The hands stop moving. The body returns what it borrowed from this earth. And what remains? Maybe the words. Maybe that's how writers travel through time after all, not by stepping into machines, not by opening portals, but by leaving pieces of ourselves inside sentences. Some 100 years from now may read something written today, and for one tiny moment, two people separated by a century are standing in the same room. Someone 1,000 years from now might stumble across a thought that survived us and whisper, "Whoever wrote this understood." If that ever happens with something I've written, don't call me a poet. I might come haunting y'all just to argue about it, and knowing me, I'll probably bring edits. Just say I was a writer, a man who listened to his heart, searched his soul, wandered through his mind, and tried to leave behind words that didn't make this already wounded world bleed any more than it had to. Because truth is powerful, but compassion gives truth somewhere worthy to live. So when you speak, speak truth. When you must correct, correct. When something is wrong, don't be afraid to name it. But before the words cross your lips, remember there is another human soul standing on the other side of them. And ask yourself, will what I am about to say become a lamp they can carry, or a scar they will have to carry? Choose carefully. Words travel farther than we do, and sometimes they live longer too. Khatib Shunar, thank you for listening to this prose. But wait, it's not over. I have a little extra for you. This August marks 15 years since my mother passed away, and I wanted to share a few words with the world about her. I love you always, Marva. Even midnight must surrender today. Khatib Shunar, the son of Marva. There is no creation, animate or inanimate, that will last longer than he who created it all. For like leaves on a tree, so are we. Eventually we all must fall. Like water beneath the sun, we must evaporate. And like a prisoner standing in an open cell, one day we must escape. This is a reality hard to handle, a perception hard to see, but what the Creator wills, it must be. For days I wept. Sorrow took me on its roller coaster ride, and pain squeezed my heart until even my tears ran dry. But the reality remains, it must be. It was written by my Lord and not me, and my pen froze when my hands were told by my eyes that the most beautiful flower would no longer be. I became droopy like a willow tree, and dry like grass caught in a drought, for my heart could not fathom why I had to learn to live without. Then I realized the harsh reality once again. It was written by the Creator and not me. This I have to accept, even when acceptance hurts too deeply to speak, for the Creator sees what I cannot see, knows what I cannot know, and understands what my grieving heart is still trying to understand. The Creator knows better than me. I asked the wind, "Why must flowers leave?" The wind said, "Son, don't mourn what you can't retrieve." I asked the rain, Why my heart gotta hurt this way? It whispered, even midnight gotta surrender today. Leaves gotta fall and rivers gotta flow. Some answers ain't ours down here to know. I cried till my eyes had nothing left to see. Then my soul whispered softly, let the Creator be. I ain't saying it don't hurt. Lord knows that's a lie. Some goodbyes put thunder in a grown man's cry. But what leaves this earth ain't necessarily gone. Sometimes love changes rooms and keeps living on. So I'll carry that flower wherever I may be, in my heart, in my words, in every memory. Because the hardest truth my soul had to see is it was written by the Creator, and not by me. Much love, Khatib Shanar. Concerto for Scars, Silences, and Crescendos in G-flat minor by Khatib Shanar. The stage is set, the audience is here, up goes the curtains, open your heart to hear. The harmony that's about to touch you will be a frequency that will dance up your spine. Close your eyes and lean on in, hear the melody of the woodwinds. Listen, the flute blows softly, like the breath of the divine, whispering to my spirit, slow down, you'll be fine. Every breath is another chance, every inhale another start. Sometimes heaven doesn't speak in words, sometimes it breathes through the heart. Then comes the piccolo, small, but listen how it flies, teaching me you don't have to be big to reach enormous skies. A little faith can move you, a little hope can make you climb, and something small can change your life when played at the proper time. The clarinet comes smooth, with a voice both warm and low, telling me don't rush your season, some things take time to grow. You can't hurry into wisdom, you can't rush becoming whole, some lessons have to simmer before they're served unto the soul. Then the oboe starts crying with a beautiful aching sound, telling me tears ain't weakness when life has knocked you down. Let them fall if they need to. Let them water what must grow. Sometimes tears are just the spirit releasing what it can't hold. The bassoon walks in deeper, like an elder taking the floor, saying you've survived some things you thought you couldn't before. Every scar became a measure, every wound became a note, and every time life tried to drown me, my spirit learned to float. Then that saxophone comes sliding, Lord, now that's soul. It bends the notes like life bends plans, but somehow keeps control. It taught me when the road gets crooked, don't always fight the bend. Sometimes what looks like your breaking point is where new beginnings begin. Then the horn calls loudly, let its message travel far. You've spent enough time looking down, remember who you are. Mountains weren't made to scare you. They were made for you to climb. And even when you lose your footing, you haven't lost your time. Then the ocarina calls me with a voice of ancient earth, reminding me before the world named me, the Creator knew my worth. Before the money, before the titles, before anybody knew my name, there was already something sacred burning inside my flame. Then comes the harmonica, small enough to fit my hand. But when that little thing starts singing, even sorrow understands. It taught me you don't need much to make something beautiful begin. Sometimes all you need is breath and the courage to breathe again. Then the woodwinds fade. Don't fear the silence, let it sit. Because silence has a frequency too, and sometimes when heaven gets quiet, it's waiting to hear from you. Then a bow touches a string, and here comes another movement. Even though life gives you nicks and dings and we get down, please don't let it kill your dreams. Just relax and listen to the strings. The violin starts singing, high enough to touch the sky. It sounds a little like hope and a little like a cry. Its strings must first be tightened before something beautiful can begin. So maybe all that pressure wasn't meant to make me give in. Maybe I was being tuned. Maybe I was being prepared. Maybe the tension wasn't punishment. Maybe heaven was getting me there. Then the viola joined softly, a little deeper, warm and slow, reminding me not everything beautiful needs everybody to know. Some dreams grow in silence, some blessings hide from sight, some seeds spend months in darkness before they ever meet the light. Then comes the cello, deep, rich, full of feeling. It sounds like a wounded heart that finally started healing. It reminds me I can hurt without letting hurt become my name. I can walk through the fire without spending my whole life in the flame. The double bass comes rumbling, low enough to shake the ground, reminding me when life gets heavy, keep both feet planted down. Being spiritual ain't always floating. Sometimes faith stands still. Sometimes the greatest prayer you'll ever pray is simply, I still will. Then fingers find the harp, one string, then two, then three. So many different sounds becoming one melody, and I started thinking, maybe that's me. Maybe every part of my life was always meant to belong. The joy, the pain, the sunshine, the rain, all of it was writing one song. Then everything stops. The winds become quiet. The strings become numb. And from somewhere inside my chest, I'm percussion. Hear my drum. Boom. That's the beat that says I'm still alive. Boom. That's the sound of every time I fell but chose to rise. Boom. That's every road I walked when I didn't know where it would lead. Boom. That's my heart telling fear, you don't get to bury my seed. I'm percussion, hear my drum. I am the rhythm of what I've overcome. I am every sleepless night that eventually met the sun. I am every race I thought I lost that somehow wasn't done. Hear my drum, boom. For the scars, boom. For the tears, boom. For the nights, boom. For the years, boom. For every time I whispered, I don't know if I can, and something inside answered, get up, you still can. I'm percussion, hear my drum. But wait, a drum by itself doesn't make a symphony. Neither does a flute, neither does a violin, neither does a harp. So bring the woodwinds back. Let the flute breathe, let the piccolo rise, let the clarinet speak, let the oboe cry. Bring that bassoon from the deep, let the saxophone bend, let the horn call out. Let the ocarina remind us where we began. Let that little harmonica breathe like it has something left to say. Now bring in the strings, let the violin reach, let the viola warm. Let the cello tell the truth about surviving every storm. Let the double bass shake the ground. Let the harp reach for the divine. And percussion, don't you stop now. Keep the time, boom, now listen, not to one, listen to all. The high notes, the low notes, the rise, the fall, the scars, the silence, the joy, the pain, the sunshine, the thunder, the drought, the rain, all playing together. Now, that's a symphony. And suddenly I realized this stage was never small. The ceiling disappears. There ain't no theater walls. The moon takes her seat. The stars gather around. The planets lean closer when they hear the sound. The universe is our audience now. So let's make a beautiful song. Play every wrong turn that somehow led you right. Play every dark morning that eventually found light. Play the people who loved you. Play the ones who walked away. Play the prayers that were answered. Play the ones still on delay. Don't hide the scars. Put them in the song. Don't erase the silence. That's where the rest belong. Don't be ashamed of your low notes. They make the high notes strong. Every piece of your journey has been composing you all along. So woodwinds breathe. Strings sing. Percussion bring that heartbeat in. Let the mountains hear us. Let the oceans hum. Let heaven lean closer when the crescendo comes. Because my life ain't just one instrument. Neither is yours. We are laughter and crying, open windows and closed doors. We are beginnings and endings, losing and finding, breaking and mending. We are quiet, we are loud, and we are lost, we are found. And somehow the divine keeps conducting every sound. So if the universe is listening tonight, let's give it something beautiful. Something born from darkness but reaching toward light. Something imperfect, something true. Something that sounds like me, and something that sounds like you. The stage is still set. The universe is here. The curtains are open. So open your heart and hear. The woodwinds breathe. The strings begin. Percussion beats, and we rise again. No note wasted. No scar wrong. No silence empty. It all belongs. So play your life. Every rise and every fall. And when the universe asks what we call this beautiful sound made from it all, smile, take a bow, and simply say, a symphony.
This is Khatib Shanar. It is Wednesday, August the 19th, 2026. The time is 8:12 p.m. and I want to thank you for listening to me. Peace and blessings.